Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for, well, the 20th. And as we get towards the end of the month, there's still no resolution as to the election. And, that's just going to play its course. The market's holding up pretty nicely right across the ABM yellow here, as well as the 76% line from an ES standpoint. Though we can see weakness in the shakeout and not a whole lot happening in Power Mode 2. The DOC has been on the weak side with cyan over red, but they're pretty much tracking each other. So short-term buyers popping up a little bit is enough to keep things elevated and moving along. So no real objections on that one. From an NQ standpoint, just below its ABM yellow, but again also at the 76%. So relatively speaking to formation, but much weaker from a chart standpoint. It's been a DOC spread weakness with green and everything else trailing lower, so certainly not quite the same internals you might want to refer to as comparative to charts looking rather similar. And from a euro standpoint, we're just in that holding pattern here, as everyone believes the euro is so fantastic. We're going to go into that one. And gold, again, we're again waiting. This was the thing. The market was down. Then there was the rumor of stimulus talks being restarted, and that caused a nice little run until everyone realized it was still quite a ways from reaching any sort of accommodation. This happens to be the Power Mode 2 cross. Yeah, DOC Power 2. If we put up the regular Diocon paint, not a whole lot of difference. It's just a little cleaner, I think, sometimes on the Power Mode 2 as I get closer to those delineations where we get that steel crossover with the orange pop above, turns and goes under. We had some really fun plays when we started to get into some of these positive extreme setups. I think I marked them better on the chart for Power Mode 2. Yeah, we had dips below the red line, and then you end up with your positive extremes getting filled back and retraced. We created another scenario of the same thing. It was right here on the big blow up where cyan moves under red, but it created 3556 reset, and then we diverged to the upside from all of that move, came across, put in a short signal, and promptly filled not just the positive extreme, but also the dip below the red line, which all took place after the buzzer, just so that people would be stopped out for anything that they weren't really set for. And then, of course, we have to return buyback with the dip here, the orange green above cyan right there, and that's pretty much where we held off. We ended up with a little bit of softness right here, but when we ended up with that steel dip, didn't do a whole lot. We ended up with a secondary one right here that's pretty much still producing positive, and that's because we've had a pretty strong shakeout rising. There's been no change of that, and no change from the buy cross that took place here with Power Mode 2 just continuing its run above the 13.5, and that's exactly what we see from where prices at this particular point. They're going to try and run it back up to where it was in the close, since they blew all the stops. Anyone who got popped out of that is going to wake up and see things probably right back where they were and be like, what? And that's exactly what their goal is. Get you confused, too tight with the stop ranges, and they can take you out every single time. It's just what they do. That's the long and the short of it. I did send out a update to the ABM setup. So if you didn't get that, let me know, because it should have gone out. And there will be additional updates to it that are reflecting some of these adjusted buy setups that we have, as well as changes to the short configuration. So that's going to be a really nice addition to being able to follow with stops using the APMs. As always, though, trade well. We'll talk again later.